I am Malcolm Van Delst, and this is an excerpt from Book 5 in the Do the Wrong Thing series. Working title is How Low Can You Go? In Book 4, we ended with Ava falling in love / into despair. The reader can choose to follow an ending that ends the series there, or can choose to go on to Book 5. So this is Book 5, Draft 1. Previously in Do the Wrong Thing. When I started writing, I knew this part would be hard. Shameful is what it is, and that's why I'm putting it. I wasn't embarrassed when I was actually doing the thing means drinking my face off and falling in love with Greg. There, I said it. You'd think falling in love would be pleasant. I mean, I have no idea what I mean. How can you fall in love with a guy whose only job in the 27 years he's been alive is a 6-month stint sandblasting names onto gravestones? How can falling in love mean drinking until there's no money left? Your money, my money. I mean, how can falling in love mean sleeping in filthy houses with no heat, on bare mattresses, on the floor, no food, no attitude, the only thing we had? Fighting norms and what? Polite society? Our parents? Fighting the expectation that we get jobs we hate and pay our own damn bills, I guess. Fighting, fitting in, fighting to be individuals, fighting to be failing. Oh, wait. We were, at the very least, different. Alcoholics, addicts, and God knows what else. Low self-esteemistas. Even in those punk houses, take away the black jeans and band t-shirts, and all you had was the gross and sad rooming house I looked at right before moving in with William. Even in those punk houses, well, many of us ended up back in our parents' basements or childhood bedrooms. More than a few will die or be permanently institutionalized. One of us will become the manager of a horse ranch in the Barbados. Legend. Hero. Someone who made it, whatever that is. Found a girlfriend who could provide him a comparatively glamorous livelihood. Shortly after the cryptic zombie concert at Knird Doof, drowning my sorrow over Ben, who's sitting across from me as Greg glues himself to my side, leaning in and telling jokes. Greg is not ugly. He has a large nose, but that's no deal breaker. Thick auburn hair, prominent cheekbones, and freaky eyes that are two completely different colors. Heterochromia iridium. Only 200,000 people in the US have it. He's funny, and nothing is off limits for his jokes. Heroes don't fall. I mean, there's the French writer Genet, but I'm not proudly buggering guys I meet in jail. Wait. Genet rhapsodized about how beautiful some of his men were. There you go. He didn't fall, he kept looking. Kept chasing love. I didn't. Love was almost literally staring me in the face, Ben, across the table. Though I'd learn in a few years that was chimera. Did I need fake or dream love? Like all I had was a lie, and if the lie was gone, ugh. Greg, beside me, desperately trying to make me laugh, cementing himself to me, stumbling after me as I leave, looking at me with all the desire or men need to pursue. That's their role. Eyes full of light and laughter. That's what Greg had. Was the light in one eye and the laughter in the other? Greg comes up the steps to my building with me. No, will I see you tomorrow? I laugh as I unlock the door. His forwardness funny because he has this mischievous little boy thing going on. He nuzzles me. Then I'm at my apartment door, Greg still right beside me. He pushes himself against me, and I don't resist, ready to fuck, because really there's nothing left. We fall into my apartment and down the 2 steps to the platform where coats are hung and shoes kicked off. Greg wears black runners. He could never afford docs. He's on welfare, has never even bothered to become a drug dealer. Down the stairs into my bedroom with the wall of electricity meters. We can't fall onto the bed because his wrought iron footboard is in the way. We maneuver around it and fall from there. Greg's maniacal grin watching me as he works, and he's good. He's what I need, I suppose. He brings me to orgasm quickly. I can even get a second one off before he goes completely soft. He tastes of beer, cigarettes, and faintly corn. He will always taste or smell ever so slightly of corn. Is that hops? Do hops taste and smell like corn? Reader, dear reader. At this point, things get murky as well as shameful. Funny, that. Alcohol blurs memory, but what if shame does too? What if we fall into a place where we, well, want to die? But since we can't bring ourselves to do it, we numb ourselves with alcohol or other drugs. Ugh, my crotch contracts, my heart hurts, and the channel between the two hollows out, as if my body is saying, don't write this, don't talk about this. And what if my physical being is right? Why did I swear to put this all down? A vestige of Catholic confession with you, reader, as the priest? What if I don't talk about the darkest stuff? What if I skate across the surface, drunk and laughing? I wish this story was uncomplicated. Abandon and loss, followed by pulling myself together and making positive changes, everything in order. Instead, I've got a soup where failure and success and stagnation and growth exist side by side, commingled. No hero's journey for me. I'm living, walking, breathing chaos theory. My nonlinear system of equations effects are not proportional to their causes, which is a good thing in practice, though not in theory. No one rhapsodizes heroes' olios, heroes' vagabondages. 1, if you're thoroughly sick of me, choose this path and keep reading. 2, if not, stop here and wait for book 5. Book 5, how low can you go? Chapter 1, Olio. Add date here. For what it's worth, while I was falling with Greg, I was rising in other ways. I was as balanced as I've ever been, I suppose, but in a bipolar type way. Does that make sense? My heart was crushed, but no. My heart had compartments. The ones for love and relationships were neglected and dust-filled, with cracked floors, ceilings, and walls, but the ones for art and self-expression were tended and full. I lived in those rooms. No, that's not it either. I couldn't love because my need was so great that I couldn't chance opening up. I couldn't talk about how I felt either. If that limitless desire to be wanted escaped when I opened my mouth, but I had to speak, by which I mean express myself, but I couldn't speak, I couldn't write. No, I haven't captured this. Words bored me in the late 80s. I wanted images and music. Fashion came naturally, or it had been inculcated in me via my image-conscious mom, or maybe a bit of both. I nailed my heart's love rooms shut, spray-painted keep out across them like a boy child with a clubhouse, and dove into the art ones. I wish this story was uncomplicated. Abandon and loss, followed by pulling myself together and making positive changes, everything in its place. Instead, I've got a soup where surrender and success, abandon and growth all mingle together. No hero's journey for me. Hero's ragu. Hero's olio.